I was working on this kind of lo-fi hip-hop track, and I found this sample that I really liked, and I wanted to use it for my song, but it's in a different key. No. That's not going to work. The chords are clashing everywhere. So let's fly this into Melodyne and see if we can make it work with our song. So if when you fly in a sample, it looks like this, where there's one note at a time, what you'll want to do is come up to Algorithm and select Polyphonic Sustain. And you'll click Redetect, and that's going to reanalyze the sample and split it out now into these individual notes. Click the G in the piano roll here, which will select all of the Gs in this chord progression, and I'll raise them up by 1/2 step to a G sharp. And already that sounds so much better. So now what we've basically done is turned this first chord, which was an E minor, into an E major chord, which sounds kind of simple, but we did this to an audio track. This isn't a MIDI track. We were able to use Melodyne to edit the individual notes, which is pretty amazing. Let's grab all of the Cs and raise those by 1/2 step to C sharp. Which sounds much better. Now the piano's working with our song. These next two notes create some movement, but I don't really love the top note here going back up to an A. And it's very subtle in the mix, but because Melodyne lets us access the individual notes, we can delete it. So I'll select this note, right click, and delete it. And that cleans it up a little. But let's take it a step further and play around with the melody, because Melodyne gives us access to the individual notes, so we can play with it like a MIDI track. Maybe instead of these notes here coming back up to a G sharp, they stay here on an F sharp. Let's do the same thing here. And we'll let this last note come up to a G sharp, just to kind of lead us back in. So let's hear this all together. So you can see how Melodyne is a really powerful tool, and I hope it got you thinking of some different ways to use it that aren't just limited to vocals.